While it never quite recaptures what made the first film work so frighteningly well, A Quiet Place Part 2 nevertheless succeeds in delivering plenty of thrills and chills, keeping the viewer invested thanks to its focus on character and the moving performances from its returning cast and solid new addition Cillian Murphy. Director John Krasinski plays in a bigger sandbox this time around, enlarging this ravaged world even as he deftly treads the expectations and formula established by so many other post-apocalyptic movies and shows. The mission of survival the Abbotts are on here sees them cross paths with another survivor, Emmett, and whether this man can really be trusted is the source of much of this film's suspense. Cillian Murphy is utterly compelling as Emmett, his scenes with Millicent Simmons' Reagan being among the most gripping in the film. Emmett could have used a bit more development, but Murphy nevertheless imbues this deeply damaged man with pathos, intensity, and mystery. Simmons once again delivers an engrossing performance as we see Reagan struggling to fill the void left by her father's death. She's the main protagonist here rather than Emily Blunt's Evelyn, who has two particularly standout scenes, one with Murphy and the other with Noah Jupe's Marcus, that showcase what a powerful and understated actress she can be, but this is definitely Simmons' film and she carries it well. The spine of this movie is similar to the first films: run, hide, and stay quiet if you know what's good for you, but Part 2 employs a multi-storyline approach that occasionally tries one's patience. While the respective emotional journeys of Reagan and Marcus allow the film to conclude on the right notes for those characters, the ending itself still feels abrupt and doesn't allow for the full catharsis some may have been hoping for given all the stories cross-cutting. To elaborate further would be to risk spoilers, which we won't do. The sequel also reveals the world before the invading creatures wiped out most of humanity, flashbacks that feature some of the movie's biggest action and visual effect moments that call to mind 2005's War of the Worlds. As skilled as Krasinski is at crafting these suspense set pieces and Spielbergian moments of awe and terror, it's his understanding of characters and performance that make both the original film and the sequel emotionally authentic and relatable. These characters feel real, and thus so too does the otherworldly peril they face. By opening up the story to a larger world, A Quiet Place Part 2 delves into the myriad dangerous scenarios of post-apocalyptic life that anyone who has ever seen any film or show set in such an environment will recognize as all too familiar. The movie definitely navigates this well-trod ground without letting the inherent tropes undermine it. There are only so many ways to zig when the audience expects you to zag in the post-apocalypse subgenre, but A Quiet Place Part 2 largely maintains its footing despite occasionally dipping into been there, done that territory. On a technical level, A Quiet Place Part 2 is as much a testament to sound design as the original film. The strategic use of noise and silence is just as remarkably employed here as we follow the hearing-impaired Reagan through completely silent moments, or where Evelyn strategically utilizes noise to misdirect a lurking monster. While it definitely has its share of jump scares, the film is more interested in ratcheting up tension and unease in service of action set pieces rather than for outright horror. A Quiet Place Part 2 then is to the more action-packed aliens what the first film is to the more claustrophobic and horrifying Alien. In that sense, some may not find Part 2 as scary as its predecessor, but still thoroughly enjoyable. While A Quiet Place Part 2 can't quite top its predecessor and never quite nails the multi-narrative cross-cutting it employs, it's still a highly exciting and well-acted follow-up. Director John Krasinski and Company broadened the world of A Quiet Place with a larger cast, bigger action set pieces, and more monster scenes, but thankfully, as big as the sequel goes, the film never loses sight of the emotional intimacy between the characters that made the first movie work so well.
Please. There are people out there worth saving.
For more reviews of your favorite movies, keep it here on IGN. And keep it quiet.